Hello, thank you for joining us on Journalist Hangout on Monday, reaching you from our Abuja studio here in the capital of Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, Bobrisky released from prison once again spraying of Naira notes at parties. Governor Sanwo-Olu opens new channel of engagement with protesters, thanks Lagos residents, and says their voices have been heard loud and clear. And later on the show, Governor Sule says Nigerians should ask state governors what they are doing with improved revenues. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Kolawole Johnson. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Correctional centers by design are supposed to be reformatory for inmates to drop bad behaviors. Controversial cross-dresser Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, is singing a new tune following his release after serving 6 months imprisonment over abuse of the Naira. Bobrisky cautioned Nigerians against abusing the Naira to avoid ending up in prison. Jide, Bobrisky officially now an ex-convict.
An ex-convict, but a free man, he's free now. He's free as a bird now. But I hope future he won't be reckless again, because to openly spray Naira notes when you know there's a law against it, although he claimed that I didn't know that there was a law. It amounts to being reckless, and that's why I called him Bob Reckless. In life, we learn exemplary lessons, and the lessons that we pick up help us to become better citizens, better human beings. I want to believe that Bobrisky has seen that, in the words of Portable, after God, na government. You must not disobey the laws.
G-Wagon Brabus, saw the convoy, saw everything, but the bottom line now...
You are an ex-convict. You went to jail. You went to jail.
No matter how you try to
until a governor gives you state pardon, you remain an ex-convict. You went to jail. You are a jailbird, you know. So, and I just hope, from what he said, you know, let me even try to quote him. He said, "You have to follow the rules and abide by the laws. Don't spray money, or you will become a landlord in Kirikiri. It is not just about killing or any criminal activity that can take you to prison." So he was saying something as simple as spray money can actually send you to prison. So he is appealing to his people not to spray money. And you can see even the Cubana chief priest that escaped jail, he too now has, as part of his terms of settlement, he has to now be preaching against spraying of Naira notes, mutilation of Naira notes and all that. So I believe that he has learned his lessons. We are not against him dressing like a woman, but that is your problem.
That's your headache.
But if you see the law and you deliberately trample on the law, then
use it as a scapegoat.
You'll be made a scapegoat. I think that it serves the good purpose of achieving a better Nigeria when people who are famous are made examples of.
Yeah.
So lowly
everybody
people
to send that signal.
Yeah, because some people used to say that he has big people in government that nobody can touch him.
Yes,
you know,
so
I had a lot of all those nonsense that they write
Somebody
on
just
social
wanted
media.
to serve him breakfast.
They say, I know he has big people in government. Nothing will happen to Bobrisky. You know, and I'm like, who is Bobrisky, for God's sake?
Kudos to the judiciary.
You know, at the end of the day, the judge didn't even exercise that option of fine. Because the law says not with an option of fine or both. That's what people don't realize. So, and he too, he was sensible. He should have appealed. I think it dawned on them that look, don't bother yourself to appeal. But there's nowhere you go, this judgment will stand, because the judge exercised his power to give him an option of fine or refuse to give him an option of fine. So at the end of the day, what we read about earlier, that he was going to appeal, they didn't bother themselves.
Kola Ole Johnson, sorry. Kola, as in, he had an option. There was this money laundering case against him too. So it's either you forfeit that money or go to 6 months. Guys, go away with your money laundering thing. I will wait for a better resurrection. After my 6 months in jail, the amount in my account will still be there.
But, why? Why did you start by saying that whether we like it or not is an ex-convict?
That's
the reality.
Reality.
It is what it is right now. Unfortunately, well, he said he's the mummy of Lagos. I don't know where the first
He's the ex-convict of Lagos. Ex-convict of Lagos.
I don't know whether to address him now as a he or a she.
No, the judge
you have no right. Of truth. You have no right to address him as she.
Okay.
Because when the judge asked him his gender,
it was the moment
he told us.
That's I was going to mention that.
So why should you now call him what he didn't call himself? He can sue you.
He voiced out sharp.
How can the mummy of Lagos own up that he's a boy before the judge?
after God.
Now government. You know. See, I did something in one of our studies some years back. It was B.F. Skinner that came up with a research, and the entire thing, the crux of that research is very simple: that the reaction you give to an action will either reinforce it or deter, further occurrence. Now, Bobrisky was the law has been there all along, but we were not enforcing that law. But being, in quotes, a socialite, a popular person, as soon as the hammer fell on him, go check. Immediately, everybody
stopped.
They're behaving themselves.
Immediately, everybody stopped.
What they do now is the bundle. They just take the bundle.
Now,
put it.
So what would that tell us in our society? As long as you allow people to get away with crime, criminality in the name of anything, you can, in fact, you will only succeed in multiplying that particular or those vices in our community. So it goes to show that if the government will summon courage, if the security agencies will summon courage, if our judicial system will be responsive, because that case also could go on for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And,
look at
adjournment.
The punishment.
Yeah. But fortunately, it was dealt with once and for all, and you can see how that is correcting that, that norm in the society.
She's not an ambassador now.
It therefore shows that if we are able to, it's not about creating new laws. It's about enforcing the ones we have on ground. We will be able to correct the ills of our society. We cannot build our society on selective justice. It won't work. Look at what we're hearing. It's got people in government. It's got big people my foot. As long as you contravene the law of the land, as long as you are, not following the law, you should pay. You should pay the price, and it will help us to have a sane and orderly society. Bobrisky has been an example of that. The same thing. If we start getting corrupt people and send them to jail, at the right time. Because these days, what they do, they say just steal as much as you can. You bribe those you can bribe, and you use the rest to of course. If we can change our ways and start throwing these people into jail, what that means is simple: we can have the better Nigeria we are building. We will not have it as long as the law can only fall, or the hammer will only fall on the poor, while the rich will keep living large despite the law.
Jide, that culture of impunity is going to, subside, considerably now.
This culture of throwing our currency.
Yes.
Have you seen Cubana chief priest?
Yes.
You saw some of his videos.
Yes. Throwing
the way, the disrespect that he showed to our currency. And the moment they got Bobrisky, they knew that as long as if they leave him alone, people will say, oh, you deliberately targeted Bobrisky, but you saw a bigger fish. You didn't touch him. So you can see now, I was watching a video. Instead of spraying money, he spoke into the ears of the musician, and he was holding his phone. So it's like he just transferred money. In the past, he would have just thrown it like that. Bam! There was a lawyer, Ayo, who was promoted to SAN.
The SAM, yes.
Yes.
In this Abuja.
He got this SANship, yes. Go and watch what Obi Cubana was. No,
Cubana chief priest.
Cubana chief priest, sorry. We always, because they came from the same loins. Same loins. So, what he was doing in that place, with that his usual oversized jacket, it was just, I said, what is this? He would just say money na water. What is the meaning of that? Respect the law.
You find Dangote throwing money like that.
You know, get money reach Dangote now. Soyinka said a tiger does not need to show his tigritude. If you are a tiger, even your color don't show say you be tiger. Your color don't show.
You can't even see Aliko with currency.
We do.
Aliko himself told us that there are Nigerians who have more cash than him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was one day he's granted an interview abroad. Now said he wanted to be sure that he was actually rich. He just took $100 million.
Yeah.
So $100,000.
No, was it dollars?
Just took it at the back of his.
I think some naira.
Just slept overnight with it. The next day he took it back to the bank. He just wanted to show that this is
the thing is, don't even be obscene.
Yeah,
showing that you are rich. Don't be obscene.
Let me chip in something.
Because in a country where there is rampant poverty,
let me
you can't be seen to be throwing money around.
Let me chip in something. Let me be the devil's advocate somewhat. Now, these people, they want to drive their online presence. They want to drive followership. So a lot of things they do is for that purpose, always for the gram. So when he throws money, what are the other things that he posts online? To drive his own,
stepping on our currency, disrespecting our currency.
No, I'm going there. Now, where they disrespect the law, in doing that, and of course, that's where the law will always come after them. Here is it. Do you know that after all said and done today, he's not doing that again?
That's what we're making now.
So fix the law. Those things will fix themselves.
All right. Moving on now. Contrary to apprehension before commencement of the nationwide protests over economic hardship, the exercise took place in an atmosphere of decorum in Lagos State. As such, the state government has expressed appreciation to protesters in Lagos for their peaceful conduct and announcement of an end to their action following the nationwide broadcast by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who praised the leaders of the protests in Lagos, said their collective voice has been heard by the government in demonstration of the commitment of the Lagos State government to continuous engagement with the youths. The governor directed that dialogue over the issue must continue. Jide? Relatively peaceful.
Yeah, very peaceful.
Compared to what we had during the answers to destruction.
Life teaches so many lessons. We can see that NSAS taught the governor of Lagos State, some lessons in leadership. He clearly handled this matter in a very remarkable way, much better than a lot of his mates handle it. We are not saying that other governors where strikes didn't and where protests didn't happen did not do well. They all had
way of neutralizing,
ensuring
dousing
that
the tension.
this thing didn't resort to violence. We are not saying that those who did not protest are saints or they are the best Nigerians. Our concern all along had been, can we parade the streets in the name of protest without it degenerating in some parts of the country? That was the fear that some of us had. And as you can see today, in some parts of northern Nigeria, for example, people are desperate to protest because they see it as an opportunity to steal. Look at in Jos, they were targeting the second biggest market in the state. They had to push them back. In Kano, they went to Zoo. Zoo Road has a lot of big department stores and all that. Beautiful place in Zoo Road. They wanted to loot the place, and these things these properties belong to private people. Are they the ones who are making you to be hungry? So, but we saw in Lagos,
common sense,
Lagos is a complex place. It's not a space easy to govern. That is one fact. But we must commend Governor Sanwo-Olu because he moved quickly.
Learning from the mistakes.
Ahead of a day before the kickoff of this protest. I'm not going to call it nationwide because at least a quarter of the states in our country didn't get involved in it. So I won't call it nationwide protest. That is, I like the way one of the TV stations called it August protest. I'm not going to call it nationwide because it didn't cut across our country, you know. Maybe my definition of nationwide is wrong, but that is what I've chosen to do. If at least a quarter of the states in our country didn't, more than a quarter didn't get involved. A quarter of 36 is 9 states. More than 9 states didn't get involved. So to me, it's not nationwide. Anybody can say what he likes. So the governor addressed the people. He said, no true Lagosian or friend of Lagos will encourage us to go this route again. That is not who we are. Let us not allow our state to be plunged into chaos again. Let us show the world that Lagos remains a city of resilience, where the voices of its people are heard and respected through peaceful and lawful means. Let us reject any attempt to throw the state into violence. Look at the way he spoke to people. And then the stakeholder engagement
we're all
across different groups in society.
Came out.
So when you make the right moves, you are likely to get the right results. If you simply start back that, we cannot convince these boys, they made up their mind, these boys and girls have made up their mind, let me just leave them. Whatever I do, they will still protest. We won't have what we had in Lagos. Everybody was afraid for Lagos because if you look at whether on social media or even physically, the greatest number of people shouting about protests were residents in Lagos. The people stealing in Kano, even attacking mosque to steal rugs. The people attacking churches in Katsina. They are likely not on social media. Lagos is the capital of social media in our country. The highest number of people on social media are residents in Lagos.
The population.
Yet, in spite of the frenetic campaign for the protests to happen, we didn't see protests happen in the manner that we feared. The protesters largely conducted themselves peacefully. Where they were asked to go, they went. Even when they were not, even when They didn't go to where they were asked to congregate. They didn't contravene the law. They didn't break into people's shops. They didn't damage traffic lights in the guise of trying to steal. They didn't attack court premises and steal exhibits taken from criminals. So we saw Lagos show leadership, not in terms of not protesting, but in protesting in the right way, in a peaceful way. Yeah. We are not after protest. Our fear is the descent to anarchy, the violent combustions that can come with protest. That was what people feared. And you cannot blame them with what we are seeing in Kano and some other places. What, for example, how do you explain people carrying flags of Russia all over? Do they even know the meaning of what they are doing?
I don't understand that thing. I still want to wrap my head around
carrying flags.
I don't get.
In Lagos, they didn't do that. What is the meaning of as if the nonsense that we saw over this zanga was not enough? You are now carrying the flag of Russia. Do you know the meaning?
To do what?
Because you've seen people in Niger Republic and Mali do it.
That Putin to come and colonize us.
Oh, this Putin and the Russians, the Russians care about religion, for example. Eh? So Putin come and colonize us as a people. Is that what these misguided boys, is that what they want? Do they know the meaning? It's just that people asking for military rule at this stage.
No, they asked.
People who do not, people who did not, they were too young.
They asked.
When Abacha and his goons were ruling Nigeria and they were killing innocent people.
Killer squads.
How did we lose Yaradua? Shehu Musa Yaradua.
Rejected.
Because he showed a desire to contest for presidency. These stories have not been told to some of them by their parents. They don't know what it is.
Alex Ibru, Baba
this constitutional lawyer.
Yes.
Onogurua,
his first son, Toyin.
Look at what they did to him. Because Onogurua was told, don't go into the government. You know, don't go into the government. He didn't agree. By the time he got into it and he wanted to come out, that was when they now descended on him. These stories, these boys, some of them were not born. A 21-year-old boy. Somebody saw a video of one activist talking and talking. He now said, "Is this the new Ghani?" I said, "Are you out of your mind? You are comparing this one to Ghani. Do you know Ghani?" I mean, chief, stories have to be told. It's unfortunate that at a point we even stopped history from being taught. How will people know about their country? How will people know their civic responsibilities? So Lagos actually did very well, and I think that I'm particularly happy, not because protests took place, but in a dignified manner.
I think the first, second day, so I still saw them at the Ghanaian Park, and they were still, talking. Yeah. So as at Sunday yesterday, I saw some hoodlums descending on some people that are assembled at that same park.
They don't want protest.
They don't want
those boys.
Boys in Lagos. So
no, the thing is that before he comes in, the thing is for the area boy. If you block roads
daily
and they are unable to move around, a lot of them are conductors, and they are unable to move around, and this their daily
settlement.
They cannot collect it. They will get hungry. They will be breaking people's heads up and down. So they were thinking that I hope there is people are not trying to force us into answers
again after the president's speech.
Well, it's not right, sir.
I hope that is true. I hope that was true anyway. I hope it wasn't state sponsored anyway. Now,
nobody said it's state sponsor, but those guys descended.
They can sponsor themselves.
It's true.
They can sponsor themselves.
I hope that is true anyway. Now, let me please say this. If I miss your question, please bring me back. It is time to call on the president to act decisively in Kano. I will say it again. To act decisively in Kano. See, the fight for the soul of Africa by external factors I think the game is on seriously. Our neighbors were once under the, let me use the very common word, the colony of French. France was that. Now, they've kicked out France. Russia is taking control of that place. During the Cold War era, you know, it was a two divide. Those who are anti-West and those who are pro-West. France and the entire, you know, lineup, they are the Western guys. And Russia belongs to the, you know, the other bloc. And they are playing, they see, the world, they are playing game. You know, when they tell us that the international relations space is an hypothetical construct, they know what they are saying.
Okay.
No, please.
Let me pay some bills.
Okay, please.
I'll be right back after this timeout. Please, we'll take this, brother. We'll be right back after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Know that President Bola Tinubu has approved the suspension of import duties and tariffs on rice, maize and other essential food items for the next 5 months. The President has also approved the suspension of import duties on pharmaceutical raw materials and equipment. This will help bring down the prices of food and drugs across the country. All hands are on deck to ensure that things get better for all Nigerians. This is the renewed hope.
Floods everywhere. Let's work together to minimize the impact of floods and associated waterborne diseases like cholera by ensuring the following. Clear your drains and waterways. Don't dump refuse in the waterways and canals. Don't walk or drive through flood waters. Do not defecate in the open. Plant trees to protect your property and the environment. Don't drink flood waters. Collaborate at regional, state, local government and community levels to fight the menace of floods. Keep your environment clean always. Climate change is real. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation.
Imagine a world where your potential isn't limited by your bank account, where your financial dreams can become reality. That world is here with the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation scheme, Credico. Credico is one of President Tinubu's initiatives designed to put the power of consumer credit in the hands of working Nigerians. Here to help you achieve your goals, whether it's providing for your family or expanding your home or business. Visit www.credico.ng today for details. This is the renewed hope.
Quality wires and cables. Coleman come light up your life. Coleman want to light up your house. Coleman want to give you better. Coleman next to ordinary wire. Coleman cables, Coleman wires, Coleman quality, Coleman durable, Coleman cable, Coleman cables, Coleman wires, Coleman quality, Coleman durable, Coleman cable. Everybody, come and see. Coleman wires, wonder things. Brother, sister, uncle, auntie, go get your own. Coleman wires, Coleman cables, Coleman quality, Coleman durable, Coleman cable. Coleman wires, Coleman cables, Coleman quality, Coleman durable, Coleman cable.
Coleman wires and cable. Great quality. Now with the new look.
Relief is coming. More wages, reduced costs. Nigeria's national minimum wage is now 70,000 naira and it will be reviewed every 3 years. The federal government will commence immediate implementation and state governments are being encouraged to follow suit. With the presidential CNG initiative, transport costs are coming down. Are you a car owner or a transporter? Visit www.pci.gov.ng to find out how you can benefit from switching to CNG. This is the renewed hope.
Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout, reaching you live from Abuja, the capital of Nigeria. And Kolawole Johnson, you were making a point before we went.
I was saying that for people to be so, it won't just start for somebody to, or for tailors to be sewing Russian flag. Let's. For me, I don't just take things on the surface. I mean, saying it, and they are distributing it for what purpose? Who started that? From where?
Even in Jos.
Yeah.
In Jos not.
So for me,
they've been sharing it too.
yeah, I look at
Russian
things
flag.
beyond the surface by my training.
This is pure madness.
So we should address that immediately. In fact, I can afford to leave the protest elsewhere and address that one. So for me, it will be a call on the president to deal decisively with Kano now. If you need to declare curfew, whatever we need to do, stop whatever is it in Kano. We mustn't have that again. Now, let me move ahead. Lagos will always show the example. In the days of doing impact assessment for a world organization, Lagos was always leading. Look at all the indices. And in this one too, I think what worked more, or what worked in Lagos was not just the engagement. It was also the historical perspective, the fear of the past. So fear was there that if we go violent, will something else happen? That was there. Then two, the governor engaged much more earlier. And there's something he has done now that I think is very commendable. I said, oh, you have stopped. Thank you. However, we even want to open additional lines of engagement so we can engage you further. And they release mobile numbers of members of executive council, commissioners in charge of those different. Awesome.
Brilliant.
Awesome. And now you can reach them directly.
They are not prepared to rest on their
Yes. So which shows that, we are not asking
Dialogue
you to
should be
stop
ongoing.
we are not asking you to stop for fun. In fact, we want to talk to you now to address these issues. And I think, I don't want to say that the FG should, take a cue from this, but the FG should also be looking at ways of ensuring that we do stakeholders management, not necessarily the protester alone. There are different stakeholders, different groups. They can map them into different units, and you engage them directly from time to time.
Especially some other people want even the media to engage Mr. President.
That's what I'm saying. See,
Mr. President,
we talked about
let's
that.
do stakeholders management.
See,
we can do this stratification. You can get this, group into different groups, and you engage. It doesn't have to be only when he's giving us a national address. I keep saying this. What happens to quarterly review? If we cannot do monthly review, at least let's do this.
Quarterly interministerial
yes.
review.
Now, I should be expecting a situation where the president was, okay, things are critical now. You can't be meeting every week for fake. They can dedicate one of those, weeks, either the second week or so, to be review of what you have done in the past month. So that at least they can make news from that. It will go out. That
Because
in the past month, this is the mileage you have done.
Things that they are doing, people are not aware.
Yes.
Somebody watched.
Bosun?
No.
Okay.
Somebody watched Bomitu Jojo
on Friday,
and he sent me a message. This guy, you mean they've done all of this? For example, the number of people who were stagnated in that ministry, Ministry of Interior, and they had to promote at
for
once.
years.
It's unprecedented.
For years, for several years.
Yes, that is
Some were on the same spot for 9 years, 10 years.
That is
That's
not
not
what
make
we
headline.
read. That is not what we
you don't read that.
No, the thing is, see, people may not make headlines, but if you are determined to get it in the consciousness of people, you are the one who will make up your mind. Wike said something the other day that, look, I will cause people to talk about me. Because when that first, what's it called that he had with us, that first media chat, everybody logged on to it, including the people that were not engaged to cover it live. They were forced because that was the issue of that day.
Impact.
Now, if you see, TV time, for example, is a lot of money. But if you want the world to know that this is what you are doing, you should never shy away
from publicity,
from letting people know that this is what you are doing.
So,
this is the problem that this government, hold on, please,
okay,
because it's a critical issue. When we have ministers that sometimes will call, they are reluctant to come and talk about their achievements.
I'm telling you.
So this is a big problem that this administration has. Because I look at some of the things that the president has done that people don't even know about, they don't talk about.
48
all
ministers.
we keep talking, they keep saying, oh, he removed subsidy, he did this, he did that. But there are some positive things. And if you are, as a government, you are not aggressive in pushing out that narrative that I've done this, I've done that, nobody will blow that trumpet for you. You have to show aggression to let the world know that, yes, I've done this, I've done that. And I mean well.
The airport now in Abuja, if you are coming from outside.
I missed my way coming here today.
No, you will serve yourself. Number one, Abuja Airport was my first time. I think like 3 months ago was my first time in that Abuja International Airport. I did not believe that this is Nigeria. Well, going forward, instead of you to go through the immigration, you have to, if you're in Nigeria, you have to go through this thing yourself.
I told you that.
And you scan and go. You don't have to go through immigration officer again.
I said the same thing here. I said the same thing here last week. That I've spoken to, and I know that the government has done, some great things in many areas, but unfortunately, they are not out there. But we asked the minister,
look at consumer
and he
credit,
said,
for example.
They don't want to run propaganda. See, listen, today I was coming. I missed my way. Look at what Wike is doing in Abuja. What?
You must miss your way.
Come on. Look at what he's doing in Abuja. In just 1 year.
No matter what, you must admit.
Everyone knows
the people who hate him say,
I'm not his person.
No, he's only resurfacing roads. I said.
Yeah.
See,
even the Wuye Bridge is resurfacing of road.
To come here if you're coming from Games Village axis, or from the city gate, just navigating directly to get to. No, the guy has done tremendously well. And I also learned that he did some reform on ground. How he got the money should be another area to study. Do you know that they got that money by you bank, Shebi, you know that our money will be coming to you. So you can also do something ahead for us.
Yes.
The guy
accessing the funds ahead of time to banks.
Put his brain to work to access funds. So I'm saying that if this is what we have noted, and we even said this one last year, we were in Lagos, and I discussed this, that this government will have a fundamental issue if they don't communicate well, because in terms of perception, they are behind. I said this last year.
Government had this. In terms of infrastructure, you can see roads, what Umahi is doing.
Dave.
You can accuse him of all kinds of things, but when it comes to implementing,
quality of the roads
is top notch.
Look at our Third Milan Bridge.
Now, there is one road that is building in the Mambila area. By the time he finishes that road, those people will start treating him like a god. Because they had waited and waited. Umahi is building one road for them in the Mambila area. This is a place that I went in Taraba State. They never expected that help will come, but they are doing it. Gradually, big steps have been taken, but a lot of these things people don't know. One of the lessons that this government must pick up from this season, this protest season, is to communicate and communicate in the right way. They must change their attitude to communication. Any minister who is not prepared to communicate should be fired.
Honestly,
it's as simple as that.
Talking.
It's as simple as that.
Just there, not doing that. Not talking, not
if you are not
anything.
prepared to communicate.
No, I think it's not about the minister. There are
It's about who?
Engine rooms of government. There are structures that should do this.
Are you saying the ministers should be insulated from talking to the public? Why are they there?
I'm not saying that. See, internally, is there a mechanism where what have you done this month? Do they even do that at all?
No. That's why we talked about interministerial briefing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying now.
Because
if the structure is there, if the government put that structure in place,
of course, that's
there are some ministers I don't know them.
What I'm saying is that if the government put the structure for the minister to be briefing us regularly, they will. They can't, they can't abstain.
Some of them, they
stay away from that.
They shouldn't even wait until they say go and talk. Why should you wait? And some of them, they don't want to talk. The press goes to them saying, okay, we want to see you. They will not come. What kind of ministers are they?
Okay.
I've never seen a generation of ministers reluctant to talk about what they are doing like these present ministers.
Or to talk about the achievement of their principal.
Or both their own and their principal. They are not even ready to talk.
Achievement is in units. Those achievements are even with a different ministry. That's
where they are. Okay. And finally, the basis for the removal of petrol subsidy was to free up funds going into private pockets for development purposes, but improved revenues for states after the first subsidy removal is yet to translate to prosperity for citizens. As such, the governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, has urged Nigerians to hold state governors accountable over improved allocation from the federation accounts. Governor Sule urged the people to ask their state governors what they are doing with the improved revenues from the federation accounts. I was shocked when somebody told me that a state like Ekiti State is now getting 7 and 8 billion naira. It was Kolawole Johnson that told us about one particular state in the South.
Delta State.
What does Delta?
Delta.
Listen to this. Give it time.
Let's have Delta first.
Now, Delta got 483.57 billion naira last year alone, 2023. The entire, the 6 states of the South got about 1.8 trillion naira that same year. So when you sit in Delta State and you are shouting Tinubu without knowing that end bad governance should start from your very state, it's an error. Now, take for example, this year alone, between January and June this year, Delta has gotten 260 billion naira, which means that by the end of this year,
260 billion.
260 billion naira. Delta has gotten 260 billion naira. In fact, 4 states in the South, Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa, has gotten almost 800 billion naira in 6 months of this year.
Almost 1 trillion naira.
Oh yes, 800 billion. Now, so when you sit down in those places and you don't understand that the subsidy that was free, you see, how much did they share in the first 6 months of last year? FG and the states shared about 3.6 trillion naira. No, sorry, the first 5 months of last year, between January and May 2023. FG and the states shared about 3.6 trillion naira. But this year, in the same period, 5 months, they have shared about 10.13 trillion naira. Almost times 3 of what was shared last year in the same period. So when you say, where's the money free from subsidy is everywhere in Nigeria, but in state houses, in government coffer. Now, the question is this. Have you increased your salary since that time? I think in a lot of places the answer is no.
No.
Are we having increase in infrastructures, in deliveries? The answer is no. So rather than coming to Abuja to protest, that's why when I see when people say, oh, they want to come to Abuja to protest, you live in your state where the money has been sent to
your governor.
Honestly, but again, I don't want to keep blaming
the national government said.
Yeah,
he said
that's what they said now. He said, ask your governor what they are doing with the money.
What you are earning.
Look at the example.
I just quoted here.
Look at the example he gave. He said Tinubu does not own, as the president, he does not own land anywhere. The land belongs to the states. What are they doing in the area of agriculture? We are talking about hunger. We just saw the governor of Anambra State now coming up with a project meant to attack the problem of hunger.
Oh yeah.
What are and Anambra does not have the kind of land that we see in a lot of the northern states.
And
what are the governors doing?
See,
people talk about the example of Bago, but it's just one governor now out of many, and it's not among the richest. His state is not among the richest.
It should be even among the lowest.
It's not among the richest. The only
what state is that?
Niger, the largest state. They have land mass. They have land mass. but they are not among the richest. So if states that have land, arable land, they are not cultivating, they are not getting people employed through agriculture, then something is wrong.
No.
Something is wrong.
Now, just like the figure is saying, Niger has gotten only 53 billion naira this year, the 6 months of the year, January to
While Delta has gotten
260 billion in 6 months.
The same states.
Yes. In 6 months, 260 billion. Whereas Niger, that is doing something about
Rivers. Look at Rivers too. Rivers and Akwa
Ibom.
Rivers and Akwa Ibom are also very big hyenas.
Yes,
very big.
Okay, Rivers has gotten 197 billion. Akwa Ibom has gotten 179 billion in 6 months. Lagos has, I think, should be 16.
Lagos is also a big hyena.
Lagos has gotten 161 billion.
Very big hyena.
Now, let's come to the indices too.
But look at even the size of some projects that Lagos is.
No,
the light rail project.
Red line is ready. Blue line is ready.
Lagos is you can say okay. They may not be meeting up to target in some areas, but Lagos would always be Lagos. Honestly,
light is ahead.
Yes, so we even, in fact, the main reason why we criticize Lagos is that you expect more because of the antecedent, which is true, and especially because
that is the first state to have a 1 billion naira budget during the Jakonde year.
Yes,
so Lagos has always been a leader.
No, the Southwest has always been. In those days, the Southwest borrowed the federal government 12 million pounds. In those days, the Southwest was borrowing the central government money. I think we should get back to the days where states are buoyant enough.
Now, the bottom line of what Governor Sule is saying now is that hold your governors.
So for me, he gave the example too.
I'm supporting this protest.
Local governments in the states. He said in the past they used to get 2.2 billion. But the local governments are now getting 4 billion.
More than 4 billion.
That's like double what they used to get. Yes. So they have no reason to not let that reflect.
The sharing formula.
They have no reason to let people must see what they are doing.
Let me give you
across all
the impact of the removal of subsidies.
So the point that he's making that should not be lost on us is that you cannot be blaming federal government for everything.
See, AY.
Now, when you're talking about our economy not doing well,
yes,
it is everybody's
coming together.
Yes, everybody's problem.
See, what
are the states doing?
Let me give this that even concerns me, and us, my own area, even you. Before now, within the same, the 13% derivation, has increased by almost 300%.
Wow.
Yes. Take, for example,
the producing states.
Yes, the same period. Same period. All producing states got about 155 billion naira that time. But this same period, all producing states, the 13% derivation, the extra money, they have gotten 519 billion. Look at it. From 155 to 519 billion naira. So there is more money in the states today.
So that ask question for Governor
more. Yes. So again, let me bring it back to the federal government. How many persons have these details? Let them be briefing the people. That this is what your Okonjo-Iweala did it in those days.
Yes, was publishing the allocation.
Your state has gotten so amount this month. Go and hold them accountable.
Why are they not doing this now?
So, for example, that's an example.
Why is the Minister of Finance
an example.
So that's an example. In the local government just told Governor Aiyedatiwa what is happening.
Ecological fund.
Want to know.
Ecological fund and all of that. It's now in the state. So, AY, the truth must be told. I am supporting this protest and bad governance, but all of us should go to our state and carry the placard in our state.
That's the enlightenment there.
It's everywhere.
Bad governance is not limited to the federal government.
Now, come. Some are saying return the subsidy. I've been advocating for this removal maybe for over 6-7 years. You can bear me witness. We cannot have that.
Some of the people, before the election, all the three major candidates.
Yes.
Oh,
They all said they were going to remove
with
Yes.
speed.
In fact, I listened
They all said they would
to
remove
with speed.
I listened
So
to Peter Obi.
if today you are now saying that the government is callous, remove subsidy, that they've not addressed the demands of the people, you are indirectly saying that they should have reversed the subsidy remover. That means you have a split personality. You said this today, tomorrow you can change what you have said.
Is gone, though.
Nigerians cannot be talking about that. What I want to see is not for subsidy removal to be reversed, but for us to do whatever it takes to strengthen our currency. Even China, they are still doing something that you can describe as managed float. You know,
It's a command.
It's
It's a command capitalist economy.
when you are in a country that is import dependent, you cannot afford to simply leave your currency to be struggling against bad weather and all that.
Other countries are floating now.
Yes.
Other countries are floating now.
See, there is a difference between floating and managed float. I'm not saying don't float.
You have to defend your currency.
I'm not saying don't float. I'm not saying don't float. Manage float. That's why I gave the example of China, that even China is doing something like manage float. The Americans have been complaining now that the Chinese are cheating the rest of the world, that is not the true value of their currency. What if we are saying that the value of our currency is tied to inflation? Forex is tied to inflation, tied to inflationary pressures and all that. Then we must do something about it. If we do not address the value of our currency, we are not prepared to solve this problem.
Okay.
Honestly. And the hunger will not abate. Because we can't have a situation where the currency is like 1,600 and something to $1. What is the meaning of that?
Let me chip in this here.
What people have told me, I have friends who are solid economists. What some of them have told me was that, look, they are not against this float, but that it should have been done incrementally, not in one fell swoop. That is the problem.
Okay, I may agree with that. Anyway, in 1979, 80, 81, Margaret Thatcher was in the same shoe, and practically all the economists of UK then were against her. But that battered the tyranny. I'm coming.
Is UK as import dependent as Nigeria?
That's where I'm going to. I'm coming.
Yeah, not now.
That battered the tyranny of the majority. They may not, be right always in any case. But let me go to the cross. Last year, I was asked in a television studio like this that where should the government focus on? And I said agriculture. Why? The most common staple, what we eat daily, cannot be dependent on the dollar. We have several things competing for this dollar, and we are not even earning more. We must do something very urgently. Get back to the farm. I call it back to the future. Get back to the farm. Let's go produce what we eat. When we do that, food prices will come down. I'm not supporting this reducing
the price of pharmaceuticals come down.
Please, I'm coming. We'll get
that's
there.
another problem.
I'm coming, please, we'll get there. Now, it is because
We'll
of scarcity.
We'll increase food production, bring down the price of pharmaceuticals.
What is pushing dollar?
You know how many people are dying because they can't afford drugs.
Can't buy drugs.
What is pushing the dollar up?
This was the same way you were supporting Band-Aid, this thing. No.
See, I am not afraid.
Only to come and tell me that you didn't like the bill they sent to you.
I told them I'll pay. See,
you told me,
and I said I'll pay, right? And I said I'll pay, right? Hold on.
You told me.
I paid 452,000 naira.
A month.
Yes.
So you complained. But you only say you are supporting Band-Aid.
See, come. This thing is simple.
President
Please,
General.
hold on, no, please. That's why I wait. That's why I wait.
It will still come to 1 million naira.
That's why I wait. No, let me say this. Let me say this.
That's
I keep
good for
saying
you.
something.
All I want to just say.
I keep saying, no, wait, hold
Almost
on.
$500,000 in a month.
I have businesses to run.
President General.
Oh, see, stop that. See, let's run this. See, let's say something here.
Okay.
Policies are not meant to favor you before you support it. If it is for the good of all, yes. You can't sit in your house, for example, as a big man, and you put on 5, 8, 10 ACs, and the government is paying for that for you. It's not possible. The government has not increased tariff. They only say for you Band A members, pay what you use. We can't be subsidizing luxury for you. But that woman maybe in the rural area who don't even use anything up to you. Please, I'm coming. Please, I'm coming. What they did is that, yes, is pay what you use. Government was subsidizing that before. They said, no, we are no longer subsidizing. Be paying for what you use. Simple. See, I'm not afraid to own up. See, I don't follow the crowd in my opinion.
Let's leave the...
See,
so it's
no, don't wait. When I register at London School of Economics, I don't mind. See, I don't mind. I'm not afraid to take... Wait, no, please wait.
That is my
I'm not afraid to take a position on what I'm convinced about. When I went into London School of Economics to study public policy analysis, I didn't go there for sentiment. It was, okay, what is right? We push for it. I'm saying right now, we should ensure that we source for $1 out by increasing the oil production, the volume, so that we can sell more and earn more dollars. Okay. What is driving the thing is the fact that we don't have enough dollars.
Yes,
there's scarcity.
Okay, yes. That's to leave there. I want to thank you, Kola Ole Johnson. Quite an interesting discussion. We could go on and on, but Governor Abdullahi Sule, thank you for that courage, for calling out.
For calling out.
Yes, you're calling
telling Nigerians to...
It's not all about Tinubu alone. Yes, it's about and those yourself. Other governors. Yeah. I want to
including Tinubu to anyway.
Yes, sir. So, I want to thank you, the Metro. BQ.
Thanks.
All right, and that's our package today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.